Hello everyone. Today I'm so excited to share another interview with you. This interview will be with Eric Gratz, who is a violinist as well as the concertmaster of the San Antonio Symphony. I really enjoyed talking to him about his experience as an orchestral musician as well as his amazing advice for students in orchestra. I hope you enjoyed the video and please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment.
So welcome. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thanks for having me, Viviana.
You're welcome. So my first question would be, what does it take to get a position in a professional orchestra?
Well, it takes a lot of things. And I can say it takes patience, it takes hard work, it takes a good support system, and it takes a little bit of luck. And, the patience, I think, is you might not win an audition right away. In fact, you're probably not going to. That's just how it goes. And we tend to hear about people winning auditions and we go, oh, they did this, that's so amazing. Now I have to do it. Well, we just see the end result. We don't see that maybe they auditioned 40, 50 times and it finally worked out. And so patience is very important. The hard work, of course, is very obvious. You need to play in tune. You need to have good rhythm. You need the very fundamental things. A good support system is so essential, and that means people that are just going to pull you up and people that encourage you and people that are going to tell you to keep going. And also that can mean just having people that you can maybe play for and get feedback. And then the luck, of course, is absolutely a component. And there's nothing you can do about it, but just know that that's a factor and that's life. And it plays into everything. You had to be the right day, the right time. I've had auditions for my violin started buzzing the night before. I mean, stuff goes down and you have to be resilient and hope that the luck will sort of come your way when you want it to. You just need it to happen that time. So.
Okay, yeah. So what is maybe the most important thing that you've learned over your years of playing in the San Antonio Symphony?
Well, one thing in particular I can think of is to not give too much importance to any one concert. If you make a mistake, if you have a bad night, it's not the end of the world. It's okay. Everyone's going to have a bad night. Everyone's going to make mistakes. It's inevitable. So that, just sort of just staying present. So it's like when you're done with the concert, you're done with the concert. Now you go home or you go with your friends out somewhere. You don't need to stay in that place. It was a moment in time and it was what it was. And now we go do something else and you try again next time. Very important because I would really get bent out of shape. I think especially before I got tenure, I felt like if I did anything wrong, it was just good. Oh, that's it, which is totally garbage. It's totally garbage. We're all humans here, hopefully. You just kind of got to go with the flow a little bit.
Yeah, that's so good because I know a lot of times, like if I make a mistake during a performance, I beat myself up over it. I'm like, oh no, that was terrible. But it's so true. It doesn't matter in the big picture.
Yeah, and also have like this hyper awareness, especially when we're on stage. It's even more aware than when we're in the practice room. I think the adrenaline and everything, and the lights and
yeah.
But actually, most of the time, people don't even know. Even great musicians, they don't know or they don't care. If they do know, they don't care. So we put these things in our head. I mean, the priority is saying something. The priority is having a feeling about the music and giving that feeling to somebody else in the audience. And that's a very human thing. And humans are very, very far from perfect. So to put that pressure on yourself to suddenly, do this thing that's not the right way to go about it. It's so much better to just trust that you can communicate, be a good storyteller.
Yeah. I know when I perform, like thinking that, oh, I'm telling a story. I'm not trying to be perfect. It helps so much.
Yeah.
So what are your top 3 tips for students in orchestra to improve not only their playing, but also their collaboration with those around them?
Play for people. Play for people. Don't wait for it to be perfect, because then you'll never play for anybody. In fact, play as soon as possible for somebody, because you doing something badly for somebody, they're going to tell you maybe what they hear, and it might be different, or it might not be as bad as you think, or, we have to get the perspective of somebody else, and somebody you trust, that can give you good advice. Somebody who's maybe, who you know will not maybe try to take you down a few pegs or something, and would just go play for anybody. But you also don't want to go play for somebody who's always nice to you and is just going to tell, wow, you're so amazing. Because that's not helpful either, right? So we have to, it's so hard, and it took me way too long to do it, to just be vulnerable and go play for people. And play for different instruments too, because, violinists are going to hear your vibrato and your this and that. But an oboist is going to say, you got to fix your rhythm, or like your intonation or things like that, We all listen with it through a different lens. So that can be super duper helpful. That's one. Another one, think about your goals. Think about what are you trying to get to? Are you trying to get status? Are you trying to achieve? Do you want a trophy? If so, go play sports. Nothing wrong with sports. But this is art, and art is subjective. And you need to just try to get better all the time, just on your instrument, and treat it as something where you're just respecting your art, you're respecting your craft, and you're respecting yourself. And you're saying, I'm going to put this work in, and I'm going to try to make this better so I can say even more exactly what I want to say to people. I can communicate even better. And it doesn't matter if you're winning something. It's like, I used to use competitions as a way to get me to practice. I didn't actually care if I won the competition. The point is that you need to make sure that your priority is in the right place. I think we have a lot of emphasis on achievement and fame and all these things, and that'll really, really wreck you as an artist, because it again, it's the luck factor is pretty high, and you start comparing, and it's just, you got to just love your instrument and just love your art and respect it, and not worry about the other stuff. And then maybe it'll happen, and that'll be great. But trust me, I have not been more fulfilled with getting certain distinctions or whatever. The most fulfilling things for me have been seeing my private students get better, and sharing what I know, and just collaborating with people, and just taking, caring about something. That's all.
Yeah.
Oh, but that's 2. Okay, one more. Listen to music. Listen to music. I am shocked how many times I hear people say they want to play in an orchestra, and then they don't know the repertoire. It's crazy. We learn so much. It's like learning a language when we're little. We imitate and we absorb, So we need that just kind of bombardment of the massive orchestral repertoire to really show us the possibility and capability of our instrument. It's endless. And I'll elaborate on that, and I will say not just listen to classical music, but listen to everything. Because we, tend to say, oh, classical, we got to do this, and nothing else is like classical. It's all the same business. It's all the same. If you want to listen to Miles Davis play bebop, that's the same thing as Mozart improvising a variation. These people were all master improvisers back in the day. And in fact, they were known for that much more than they were as, composers of things that would be played. And that spirit of improvisation and really not knowing what's going to come out until the moment, that's the kind of stuff I like to listen to. So I love jazz. I love these things. And people who play with me know that I don't really even like to rehearse very much, because I'm not going to make any promises of what I'm going to do later on. It's much more exciting for me to try something, and again, just sort of, even if you fail sometimes, because the greatest moments are always on the edge of disaster. Anyway, it's never some safe thing, right? It's always just on the edge, So listen to everything. Just absorb it. I have music going all the time, and I'll pick up my instrument, and it'll be different somehow. So That's
That's
3.
so cool. Yeah. Yeah, for me at least, I find when I'm like, okay, I'm going to listen to some music now. It's so easy for me to want to listen just to violin, you know, since I play violin. But it's like, you also need to listen to all the other instruments, the symphonies and all that, and to chamber music. And it makes such a big difference. So avoiding the temptation to just listen to your instrument because that's what you play, because that's so not true. You need to listen to everything. Well, is there anything else you'd like to say before we finish?
Yeah, I think I just want to make this point about perfectionism and the danger of it in classical music. And I think try to avoid comparing yourself too much. Even we see, the Instagram practice accounts and all that stuff. Really, understand that nobody just gets to a product right away. It's through many, many moments of failure and messing things up, and just what we do with that information
Mm-hmm.
matters. And so, sometimes even we'll see like a practice account. We just see the sort of the end. They're just playing through something. Well, they're not practicing anymore. They're running it, and that probably was the 9th take that they, I'm just very quickly. It's like, no, don't do that. That's garbage, okay? That's garbage. Like, people make mistakes. I hear the best soloists in the world all the time. It's the next, and they make, it happens. It happens. So just
Mm-hmm.
like, don't think that you have to be perfect. It's not about that really at all. It's like that's what kills music, is perfectionism. And we see it in auto-tuned music or anything like that, or quantizing beats, where everything is right on. Or it's actually doesn't sound very human anymore, because we're not that way. We're a little late, we're a little early sometimes, and that's what actually makes it beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's so true. Well, thank you so much for doing this interview. I really appreciate it. It was so much fun.
Thanks for having me.